Oh, you listen to Commander Smith? Did they talk about jizz again? That's what I feel like people talk about with us.
How I wish you weren't here.
Fuck.
You're just two cavern of souls destroyed by dust bowls. Game after game. Running after the stomping grounds. But have we found same old fear? River of tears.
I think you did a great job. I have no idea what you're doing.
Pink Floyd? Wish You Were Here?
That makes sense because I don't know any Pink
Oh,
Floyd.
you don't know Wish You Were Here?
No, I don't know anything from Pink Floyd.
Oh, jeez. So before this, what I was saying was terrible. Is like I wrote this in like 5 minutes. All I was doing was like pulling names that sounded like the parts of the song.
Yeah, that's great.
But
that's what I do all the time.
It doesn't make any sense. I did.
You did a great job. I'm sure everybody else out there is like, oh man, Pink Floyd, this dude's a rocker and a kicker asser.
Nice. A kicker asser.
Kicker of asses.
I'm
very proud of you. Adam needs some confidence builder.
No, it just
compliments.
I literally wrote that. Took me 5 minutes,
It did.
and then what I was doing was like, okay, Wish You Were Here, or it's supposed to be running after the same old ground, so I went after stomping grounds. Like just,
oh, that's great.
But it doesn't make sense. Whatever. But anyways, welcome to Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith. I was okay. This is Adam Smith,
and I am Lowry Smith.
Cousins.
Yeah. Move on.
All right.
Next notes.
And this is episode what number?
Episode 33.
This is
the
really
good
weird.
Trace.
Yeah, 33. We've already recorded 34 last week, so now we're going back to 33.
And then we're going to do 35 right after that.
I should have done
What is that?
What?
Was
Back
that
to
like
the future?
Okay. I could have guessed that, but I don't. Who does that? Pink Floyd?
I'm Lowry as a parent. What am I going to say?
You are not my parent.
But
so
as,
you cannot
as
be
a dad,
disappointed in me.
Yeah, that's exactly
You
where I
cannot
was
do
going
that.
with that. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, Lowry.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work on kids. Why would you even do that? They'll be like,
they don't understand it yet. Our kids are so little.
Dad, I don't care.
Didn't that feel,
I don't
didn't
care
you
if
feel
you're
shitty when you're...
disappointed.
That was the worst
What?
thing when my parents were like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just
They
very
actually did
disappointed.
that?
Yeah.
I've never had my parents say that to me.
Oh, because you're so good, Lowry.
No.
Oh, good for
I'm
you.
Basically perfect, so don't worry about it.
Not today. You weren't perfect today. Lost that last one.
Ouch.
I shouldn't talk because I did too.
Spoiler alert in 2 minutes.
Well, we should do our show.
Sign-ons?
Yeah. So you can follow us at Commander Smiths on Twitter.
Just anywhere.
You can just follow us at
You
Commander
can email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com.
And then you can YouTube us. The normal YouTube.
At Commander Smiths.
Yeah. Sure.
You could probably like shrink that down into, you could follow us on at Commander Smiths on YouTube and Twitter.
That would work. But
do
you don't
that.
at. You don't at for YouTube. Like,
oh,
it's an at, like the actual at
right.
for Twitter.
I'm just trying to make this less words, even though I'm like continuing to talk.
So what do we got on the docket for this week?
So we just got done with the pre-release of Guilds of Ravnica, and we'll kind of talk about that experience, some things that we noticed, some cool cards that we got.
Then we get into Commander Spotlight with Vraska.
Vraska, that was your lead right there, so
Right.
we'll see which way you went with that.
And then we go into magical news.
We're going to have magical news.
I gotta get that sounder that you did when you did the really nerdy voice.
I have no idea what I don't remember it at this point. I don't remember most stuff. So.
I keep saying I got to do these sounders. I do actually cut them up, and I have like a list of sounders.
Yeah, just more promises for everybody out there that that things that you never do.
Oh, you just wait, Lowry. And you're going to be out of the
it.
country. Oh, man, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to plug it because are you going to be able to listen? Are you going to listen to the episode?
No. I don't listen anyway. I'm really bored with us.
And then we finish off the episode with our Kaladesh.
So, yeah, we're going to start
Top 15.
doing... Yeah, we're going to start doing rotation for standard and then just cards that we can kind of spec on.
So this is technically the first one. Okay, so yeah,
we gotta lead into it.
I'm thinking there. I'm like,
you're like,
we
why
already
are you
did this
saying
one.
it?
So we're gonna do the top 15 cards that you got to look out for to potentially pick up now, potentially pick up when it gets down to a certain price, and then we kind of have like an out of what we think it might get up to as well for each one. Well,
I didn't put that down.
oh, not this one. But
Did you have it?
no, I actually said to get in at a certain price. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're not going to tell you when to sell.
you sell
you're
on your own
person. Do
once
that
you make
stuff.
money, then sell it. But then we also have our what is it? What do we call it? Bulk buys.
Bulk buys. After
So then
that.
it's just a bunch of cards towards the end that aren't part of our top 15, but it's cards that are like, all right, well, this will fit in a ton of decks. I'm going to buy a bunch of them,
ideas
you know,
and stuff
for
like that,
really
yeah.
cheap, and you can just put them all in your deck. So, yeah, that's this show's note. So why don't we start off with our pre-release stuff?
I like it. You want to go first? Guild kit. So when you're into this, you can choose what guild you want to get into. We tried to choose different ones so we would have different experiences. So I forced Adam to choose the bad deck.
No, he texted. He was like, I'm going to do Demir. We should probably do different ones. I was like, God damn it, that's the one I want to do.
You could have fought for it, but you rolled over pretty easy.
I was like, I don't play Boros ever. Like, no commander decks, I don't have a Boros, just solely Boros. So I was like, all right, I'll try Boros out.
It's like now that since Lowry has like ragged on it for the last month.
It's funny. When you texted me that, I was like, God damn it, I gotta get faster at texting. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do this one. Which one do you want? I've taken the Ninja Commander. I've taken all those, so I can.
Yeah, I get to choose the cool stuff every once in a while.
So overall, how'd we do?
Boros,
Or do we want to say how we
Red
do,
White?
or at the end?
We could do it at the same time. Do you want to? 1, 2, 3. We are
2-1.
Wow, that's crazy.
But this one, if you
didn't get that, he said 2-1. I said 2-1. It was just at the same
like
time.
an echo.
Yeah.
Echo. I don't know why I repeated it. Because it's an echo.
Oh, yeah.
But we went into the last game, both of us undefeated.
Yes.
But we didn't play each other because there were 3 of us that were undefeated. And Lowry played the other undefeated guy. I played the guy that lost his first game. He had a different deck, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's not you, so you don't have to worry about it. He was just 1-1.
Yeah. So...
and I went to Mir because...
Pull anything pretty sweet out of it?
My promo card was Lazav.
$26 card that paid for your whole thing.
I was pretty happy with it. Well, I got to move it. And I have like 2 days.
Yeah, before it drops.
I need to be able to mail it in 2 days, so it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, my promo card was Light of the Legion, but my most expensive card was pulling Overgrown Tomb. But I didn't even use it. Well, although I did get Chance for Glory. So we both got... You got your Mythic, I got my Mythic out of it, too.
I really like Chance for Glory.
I used it for one of my... that's... When we were talking at dinner, and I was like, I don't remember how I lost, but I lost. This is how I lost one of my games.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because Chance of Glory... I wasn't going to... He was about to beat me, and so I all-out attacked, and then he blocked. I was playing... It was my second match. What was he playing again? He was playing Is It.
Is It, yeah.
And so he blocked, then I played it, gave him all indestructible. I got him down to 15, but then...
Whoa, that was real close.
But I got another turn and got to attack with all those again. He had extra
Then you got him down to 12?
I would have got him down to 3.
Okay.
So it was close, but then I was like, ha, you didn't kill me, fucker.
I killed me.
Yeah, that's what I did there.
Yeah, no.
But how'd your games go?
So the first round I played against Golgari, Mike, your neighbor. He mana screwed himself 2 games in a row, and I kind of rolled him. Yeah, felt kind of bad. Like I had enough removal to deal with everything that he even like tried playing. I was just wasting shit. I was like, he's so far behind. So, my deck ended up being like artful whatever. I'll talk about that later. But a bunch of removal and then like flyers that would have evasion and kind of not be blocked as easy. So it made ends meet of them.
That was the toughest thing I had because the last match was against the Demir deck, and flying was my biggest downfall of this deck. How'd your second one go?
Second game was against a 3-color Is It thing, and he drew a whole ton of cards, and every game I scared him. I went 2-0, but he just kept drawing cards
and not doing anything.
And I mean, he was doing stuff, but the card that really impressed me in his deck was Risk Factor. The first game, I just took 8 damage because he hadn't dealt anything, and I was like, he's down to 1 card in hand. If he wants to discard that to deal another 4, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And so I took 8 damage off of that. And then the second game, I was too low, so I let him draw 6 cards off of that. And somehow I was able to just he kind of just I had the Night Veil Predator. It's a 3/3 flying Death Touch hexproof.
Oh, yep.
And so he thought he could like tap it down. I was like hexproof, and he was just like, "Damn it!" And so that's how I kind of won the second game. And that card is really good and limited.
And then your third match, did you go 1-2 or
1-2? Yeah, I won the first game and then lost the second two. The second, like the first game was really back and forth, like all of my games. But the second game, he got I remember specifically, but it's the 1/1 double strike vigilance trample, and then he put an aura on it that gave it +3/+2 on turn 4. And I only had like a 1/3 nothing out, and he was just bashing my face, and I was like, "Oh, this game is not going where I want it to go." So
and then your third game, how'd that one end up?
I actually ended up misplaying, which sucked because like at the end I was at 1, but I had enough creatures, but I knew I needed 2 swings at him to kill him, and so what I ended up doing was like attacking with Night Veil Predator and then like 2 1/3s. Because he needed to go to work, so he needed to leave, and I was trying to play too fast. And then I played a flyer that would block his 1 flyer, and I was just like after I did that, I was like, man, that's dumb. If he has removal, I'm dead. Like I should have left the 2 1/3s did nothing. You know what I mean? Like I should have attacked with Night Veil Predator,
and that's it, pretty much.
And that's it, and leave up blockers, and then the next turn, I should have been able to kill him. Like. It was just
so. Then he did have removal and got rid of it and killed you.
He ended up playing a creature with haste, and so I could only block one of them. And since I was at 1, I died. Like that was definitely that was my fault at that point. So
that sucks. Well, you had it in the grasp of your hand.
So yeah, I almost went 3-0, but again, you're learning.
Yeah.
You don't know what people have. It was, but the pre-release was a ton of fun. So
yeah.
What was your first round then?
Well, so I went with Boros, so it's the mentor mechanic, which we were sketchy on. I mean,
that was probably really awesome. I'll bet that.
We were sketchy on how that would work, but the thing is everything I had was very low casting costs, so it was like it was really easy to get.
You're just flying stuff out.
So first game, I got mana screwed. I had to actually mulligan down. But I ended up still winning that game. I was going against a Golgari deck, and he came out pretty strong, but with this I just kept ramping into more and more creatures. You get to a point though with Mentor is you're putting counters on creatures, but then they just get all to the same level and then you can't do anything more.
Yeah, it just kind of like stalls out almost, it felt like.
Because you can't stack them, and I think we discussed that before, but like I had attack with one that was a 1/1 with Mentor, and then a 3/3 with Mentor, and a 2/2 or whatever with Mentor. Well, you can stack if you can do it however the order you want, but the thing is like if
once it gets
bigger
equal or more of the power of the card
of the other one that's doing the Mentor, then it stops. So yeah. So the most I ever got on a single creature was, I guess my all-star to this was the Healer's Hawk, the 1-drop, 1/1 flying lifelink.
Lifelink, yeah.
So that was the one that got 2 counters on it at one point. Actually, I did get some soldiers that turned into 4/4s.
Okay.
But yeah, so I rolled Golgari pretty good. It was good games.
I think I agree with that. Like all the games that I played were pretty solid, other than if somebody got mana screwed.
Yeah. So then I get into the second match, and no, I guess I didn't get mana screwed there.
You got the Is It one.
Yeah. So that's the Is It guy. He didn't beat me. I played the first game. I played that Chance of Glory. I still had him. I mean, it was really close. If it gave me 2 more turns, then I would have had him.
Oh, yeah, I know. If I could take 3 turns in a row, I probably would have won.
Actually, so if he would have blocked a little differently, like if I would have been able to kill both of his creatures, I maybe would have been able to kill him. But anyways, that game went down, or I lost that game, got into the second game. That one went down to the wire where he got me down to 4, but mine just overcame him. Like I just had too many creatures and with Mentor and whatever.
Yeah,
I had the 4/3 that when it has Mentor, but when it gets dealt damage, it deals that much damage back.
Yeah, that thing seemed really good. Yeah.
So he was like, I can't even deal with this because it's just going to hit me right back in the face. So killed him that way, and then the third game I think I rolled him on that.
Yeah, I mean I think with the Boros, like my third match was Boros, and basically like if you get going and the person stumbles at all, like it's so much easier to be rolling in Boros.
Yeah.
And so if anybody stumbles, you're gonna roll them, I think.
Yeah, and that's I think how I ultimately lost the third match. First game, mono screwed, did not have a single land in my hand, so mulligan down to 6. I got 2 of those guys that are 5 drops that tap 2 creatures when they come in, the 3/3s. Mm-hmm. I had 4 land in those 2 guys in my hand. I was like, I don't want to mulligan down to 5. So then I scryed, and it was a land, so I put it at the bottom, and then my next 4 cards was land.
Ugh.
So by the time I had I got those guys out, didn't do anything. He had
You had all land in your hand.
He was jizzing because of his freaking hand. No, seriously, he was like, ooh, like he got off on his hand. Well, that's not really.
Yeah. No, you purposely did that.
No,
yeah.
But no, I'm talking about.
No, I didn't. No,
not his actual hand.
I think we're getting known for this kind of stuff, so it's.
I meant not his actual.
Oh, you listen to Commander Smiths? Did they talk about jizz again? That's what I feel like people talk about with us.
They don't even talk about magic. It's it's just.
Did you hear that other dirty joke they told?
I didn't even mean to do the jizz.
Their grandparents
on the hand,
must be super.
I meant the jizz, but not on his own hand. I meant like his hand. Anyways, so I knew it was game over before it even started because he literally was oozing over his freaking hand.
Oh, now you changed the word oozing.
I'm trying. Lowry, you're being a dick. Let's drink a beer.
I was going for that. All right. What do we got today? All right. So this one.
It almost looks like the Twins label with that T. Never mind. Go ahead.
Tarot.
Is this the yeasty
brewery
one?
Tarot? Well, they're both yeasty, if
Oh,
you know
buddy.
what I mean. So it's Tart of Darkness. I guess I should probably crack it and start pouring. But so this is going to end up being a sour.
Oh, I like sours.
Good.
Uh-oh. I don't like that look.
So, yeah. I don't know if I want to warn
really
you.
Dark.
Yeah. No, so this is a sour it's a stout. I don't want to give you any warnings. So
are you going to drink out of a glass too, or are you drinking out of a bottle?
I'm going to drink out of a glass.
Are you going to be able to drive home tonight?
Yeah.
We got 2. That's a huge bottle, by the way. It's not like a normal. What would you say that the size of that is?
Oh, it's a liter.
Is it a liter?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I told you I like sours.
You like that?
I like sours a lot.
Actually, this is a lot better than the first time I tried it.
I like this a lot.
Good. So this is a sour stout aged in oak barrels, dark roasty sour.
I also like, because I like Angry Orchard type stuff, like sour.
No, those aren't sour.
No, but
those
it's
are
cider.
Sweeter than.
But that's what I'm saying is like I can stand these more. Cindy cannot drink this stuff. She's like it tastes like it's bad, but I like this.
I'm glad you like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
very good.
Tasty. I enjoy sours as well.
Yeah, I dig it.
But the first time my face puckered up the first time. This one's not bad.
I like it.
So it must have aged for a couple weeks here.
I think it's my favorite so far that you brought. Where was I? Oh, third match. Third game. So then, did I say that I won one, or did I? I don't remember.
Huh?
I won the second game. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't tell that story with that. So then the second game against Mr. Demir deck, he was... they just have so many freaking flyers that it was hard for me to deal with. But the thing is, I start to overwhelm with my creatures. But he had so much removal and draw cards. And that was the thing is, he went through 3/4 of his deck, and he had the sphincters... The 2 sphincters.
This is why he says it, and this is why we've always said it, because I just freaking laugh. Jesus.
But he had the 2 sphincters, and he had 2
specters.
of them. The specters.
Yeah.
That when they deal damage to a player, they take the top 3 cards, look at them, put 1 face down, and the other 2 go in the graveyard. So we had 2 of those fuckers the first game, and
That's
he
pretty solid. Yeah,
beat me that way, because there were only 3 drops for that, and casting my own stuff back at me. But he didn't get it in the second game, and he was drawing like crazy. It was insane. But then I got my foil that I got out of the pack, the Light of the Legion.
Okay.
And that's the angel that's a 5/5 flying mentor and all that stuff.
And if it dies, it puts 1/1 counters on
right.
everything.
So I had actually got that goblin that gives mentor, and you can tap 2 to give it +2/+0. I got it bigger than her, and so I mentored her.
Mentoring her. That's
so she was a 6/6 flyer, and he was at 5. Well, swung in to kill him, and I was like, well, here goes. Got to kill him here. He's at 5. I think I was at 9, but he had 3 creatures out. None of them were flying. Actually, no, he did have a flyer, but I tapped it down with my other guy. Anyways, so I'm attacking, and he gives my guy -3/-0, and I'm like, fuck. And I was like, oh yeah, I just drew this 3/0 in first strike, the instant speed thing. So I killed him there.
Just like
yeah. And then the third game,
you got tricks? I got tricks.
It's the one of 2 spells that isn't a creature in the whole damn deck. I had the Boros Signet thingy or whatever.
Oh, the locket?
Locket, yeah. And then that is my 2 spells. Anyways. Nice. No. I do have one. I'm lying. I'm just lying out of my ass right now. I had the 6 damage thing because that was one of my wins too. Was the 6 damage guy?
Yeah, and then you have the extra turn indestructible to lose the game thing.
I'm cutting everything there.
Jesus.
I like described all these different cards that were not freaking creature spells. Anyways, the third game didn't go as well, but the thing that did happen was he did have that Spectre thing again, and he took my
Tajik.
Yep, Tajik, and he cast it, and so then he attacked with that again, and I killed his Spectre. Well, we can't do that, but we both didn't catch it. Like, he had it, he didn't realize it. Then he said, "Go to me." I drew my card, played my turn, went to him. He went to attack again. I had another instant, fucking busting myself up.
So right now we're at least at 6 non-creature spells in your deck, right?
I had the
if I'm counting here,
the one drop does 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. The one white.
Yeah.
So I had that. That's my only other one. That's the last thing. But so I went to kill his Spectre. And then that's when he realized, actually, stop going through my deck. That's when he realized that I couldn't actually do that, and we kind of were like at a standstill.
Cosmic Wave, which is a sorcerer.
Oh, shit. Okay. Lowry, you don't have to prove me wrong.
Sure Strike is your +3/+0.
All right. Yeah. All right. And so,
Righteous Blow is what you were just talking
about. It kind of was a shit show at that point, because
you really
I didn't
have
know
a lot of non-creature spells in here.
We didn't know how to back up enough to do
Judge!
We didn't have a judge.
Yeah.
So, well, he actually was just like, well, we'll just have my guy attack one more, get through attack, and then he'll sacrifice it or whatever. And pretty much at that point, I was like, well, I shouldn't be winning this game.
Galvanic Punch.
Such a douche. Can I call you a douche again and we drink more beer?
Next episode. Sworn Companion.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I would have had a better chance if we didn't mess things up, because I would have done things a little differently if I didn't mess things up.
Do you have any sorceries or instants in that pile?
I don't, you douche canoe. That's the one right there. That's the 6 damage to any target.
Okay.
I already talked about that one.
It looks like you had a good balance. I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, went 2-1. Was there any other notables that you didn't play with, or that were all stars in your deck when you were playing?
So one thing that was really nice. So I ended up having 2 Artful Takedowns, which is the one that taps a creature and gives another creature -2/-4. That was nice. I had 2 of them, and then I also had 2 of Notion Rain, which is Surveil 2, Draw 2, Lose 2
That's so
life.
good.
Yeah,
I
had 2 of those as well. Chemist's Insight,
better
which is
than
the Draw 2 Jumpstart.
The what is it? Seer of the Bones or whatever that is, the one where it's Scry 2, Draw 2, and Lose 2.
I don't know if it's better.
I guess
would play both of them.
Personally, for your preference, I'm hearing. I know other people's opinions on it. Do you like the Surveil better or Scry better? Commander-wise, because that's what we're dealing with is Commander.
It really kind of depends. Like, if you're in a group that's going to end up running like Graveyard Hate, then you're probably less using your Graveyard, so Scry is better. But like me personally, I know I want to work Surveil into probably 3 or 4 of my decks.
Yeah,
like I want to beef up Muldrotha with that type of stuff.
And this kind of, I think, goes back to what we discussed in future or past. We discussed this in the future in past episodes where we were doing the Commander Spotlight and how we build decks and how we do it differently. you have a lot more recursion typically in your commander decks where I don't. I do typically have a couple answers for recursion, but not a lot. So I feel like Surveil fits you more and Scry fits me more, being able to keep it in my library, because I do... there's a lot of shuffle abilities. So, yeah, you put it at the bottom of your library if you don't want it, but if you really...
You might end up getting it back.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah, I mean...
That's one thing I do like about Surveil is, like, if you don't need land, you don't want that fucker back in your deck. You just want it in your graveyard to get rid of it.
And just get... But, again, Surveil would work well with, something that like a Life from the Loam style deck where you're bringing lands back, Crucible Worlds, all that stuff. Like that seems like Surveil
Monster.
Yeah, Get Rog Monster. Surveil's going to be really good in that. Surveil, I feel like is really powerful. You know what? Okay, you convinced me. I like Surveil better than Scry.
That's what most people are saying is I like Surveil more. I am kind of hoping that it turns into an evergreen mechanic because it'd be kind of cool to have both of those. Yeah. What if we got a Surveil 2, then Scry 2, then Draw 2, then
lose 4 life?
Yeah. Lose 4.
Would I do that? I would probably use that.
Yeah.
For 3 mana, heck yeah. I would definitely do that.
Anything else you want to talk about with the...
I pulled a 1,000-Year Storm. I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, so you got your Overgrown
You got 2 mythics.
Yeah, I did end up getting Tristani in my prize packs.
Well, no, isn't... Oh, that's a rare, isn't it?
And I had No, this is a mythic. And so I had Tristani and then I had Lazav.
So you had 2
so
mythics.
I ended up getting
you got
3 mythics
total.
out of 8 packs.
So you got well worth. What are you talking about? You're not good at drawing your packs. I got probably $10
as like
worth.
A box.
I got
my boxes have been awful. If
well, we can't wait
watching,
for those.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. I know it is.
All right, so should we jump into Commander Spotlight?
Let's do it.
A Spotlight deck.
Let's start it off. I will do a little side note, and I will kind of discuss this when
obviously, like, Planeswalkers can't be your commander officially.
Yeah, but the reason we did this was there really wasn't a lot of good commanders to build with this set necessarily.
Nothing that really piqued the interest. I'm sure there's plenty of people that want to play with certain decks.
But for what we like and all that, it didn't seem that exciting.
We're doing it because we forced ourselves to with this new set, and this is what our commander,
which
this is what we're supposed to do, so we're going to do it.
We might look back at this a year, 2 years, 3 years from now and then be like, well, it's actually legal now because now all Planeswalkers are freaking can be your general and everything. But for the sake of the deck, you still being able to use the deck, I did make a secondary commander that you can use in this, and we'll get to that a little bit later. I'll talk about that when we get there. But using Vraska, Golgari Queen, and what she does is she's 2 colorless, green-black. She comes in with 4 loyalty. Her +2 ability is you can sacrifice another permanent. If you do, gain a life and draw a card. Mm-hmm. That's pretty sweet by itself because you can sacrifice anything.
I love gaining life.
Yeah. And draw. Yeah, I was like... You did like the Bugs Bunny or the yes and the no. Like I was going to say... whatever, I don't know, but you tricked me because I was like, yeah, that is really good, but the gaining the drawings really. Anyways, -3 is destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less.
Abrupt decay.
And then its ultimate is -9, so you cannot get this by doubling season to get her to ultimate first turn.
Makes her a bad planeswalker.
Yeah, makes her not broken planeswalker. Because her ultimate is pretty ridiculous. But it's you get the emblem whenever one of your creatures deals damage to a player, that player loses the game. Needs to deal combat
Seems
damage.
right. That seems very fair.
Totally fair.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Boom! Stop looking at me, Swan. So
what is your plan and theme with this? What were you kind of going for?
So there was a couple ideas of how I wanted to do this. I want to get used of playing creatures that people aren't going to necessarily kill. So I did a lot of enter the battlefield stuff.
Okay.
Like a crap ton of that. And then I also balanced...
How much ton?
Let's see. Crap ton is going
That's all I
to
need to know. Crap ton.
be 20 different enter the battlefield creatures.
Did you put Panharmonicon in this?
I did not put Panharmonicon in this.
Good. All right. Don't mind me.
Lowry tips.
Don't mind me. Just making your deck better.
That's not a bad idea. I might edit that out and pretend like you never gave the idea.
You know what?
And
this
it's
is
in
happening.
There.
Oh no, this is happening this week. You had 3 weeks to prepare for this, and then you move this forward.
Whatever.
It is your fault.
No, I can put it in there. It does. It's not completely.
No. You can't take my idea.
I've already done it before. So, side note to you people out there, if all of a sudden you see Panharmonicon on our tapped out, which I didn't mention, or we didn't mention on the last episode, which is going to be next week's episode, to check your deck out at tapped out. Lowry's deck is on there,
Did
right?
we not do that?
No, he never said it. I know we didn't.
Well, we're going to.
But his deck is already on there. So
we'll
actually, if you check mine, his
link.
is already out there too. So, and that's before the episode comes out.
If you so care.
So yeah, there's 20 different enter the battlefield stuff. I also
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and then I balanced it out with, I guess, token generators, as I like to say, like stuff that originally I kind of was going with my Mazarek deck, where it was Mazarek is dealing with a lot of sacrifice stuff. So I was doing a lot of Eldrazi
spawns and scions.
Yeah. So originally those were all in here, but now none of them are in here. Everything's cut out except for the ones that generate a token every upkeep, or your upkeep, I should say. So I kept in
Spawning Grounds?
Yep, Spawning Grounds, and then I also Awakening Zone.
Yeah, all right.
So those are the two I kept in. So I did pretty much not every card, but almost everything that generated a token at the beginning of your upkeep or on your turn at some point. So the idea of this deck is to get a bunch of stuff that isn't threatening out there, get enough chump blockers,
get bad things out.
Kind of, because they're not threatening, but they're also, you can sacrifice them later for using Vraska's ability as well. So, but then eventually there's enough meat there to block for you to build up Vraska up to use her ultimate ability and then turn around and kill everybody.
So is the name of this deck Vraska Possum Queen?
Meat Stomper.
I'm gonna be fake death. I'm faking my weakness. That's what.
Is that possums?
A possum, yeah.
Is it possums that do that?
Isn't it? You're playing possum?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I thought that was a term.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe it's not a Minnesota local colloquialism. I butchered
that word went really well.
Woo. You know what I mean?
That C word. I want to have a beer here really quick with that one.
Yep. Yep.
Delicious. Anyways.
You notice how Adam just jumps on me when I butcher a word?
Yeah, and
it's
double standard. You can't make fun of a dyslexic when I'm reading.
Can't double stamp and triple stamp, you asshole.
So, anyways, let's just get through the list because I'm kind of...
Colloquialism.
Don't try it again. Do you want to start reading them? Or you want me to go through them, or what do you got?
I'm gonna look up the way to say colloquialism.
So I'll just start this off. So my first batch of cards is the enter the battlefield, the searching stuff. So you have like Sakura Tribe Elder, Satire Wayfinder, Wood Elves. I also have Fierce Empath.
Colloquialism. Did you get that? Colloquialism. There we go. That's what I meant.
Then also Nissa,
Sorry, what were you saying?
Vastwood Seer, and then you have Eternal Witness. So it's not necessarily all land searching, but there's a lot of... And these aren't all of them. These are just like the different kinds. So you have the one that you're searching for a creature that costs 6 or more. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a tutor in a way, but not really. But these are all my searching engines. So there's 12 total there.
And you're trying to base it around like creatures,
right?
And you didn't want to really do the spells because you want stuff to be able to sacrifice to Vraska. Okay.
And then there is some recursion. I don't know if I put that in an actual column, but there's I think 2 or 3 recursion cards in this, so that even if they go into my graveyard, I can eventually bring them back and have them do their abilities again and again and all that fun stuff. So then the next section.
Token generator?
Nope.
No.
Enter the battlefield.
Sack, kill, destroy.
Yeah,
it should have been like kill, sack, destroy.
No, sack, kill, destroy.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be a lot more funny to sound like kill, sack. All right. Yeah.
I had a buddy in college. His name was Wet Sack.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember the nickname.
Because he was an Atom and I'm an Atom, so I was Smithers and he was Wet Sack. So you got to be
Atom and he was Wet Sack?
I was Smithers and he was Wet Sack. So, anyways,
you lost on that one. Yeah, nobody's gonna remember Smithers.
No, actually, they do remember that. Hey, Smithers. Anyways,
Wet Sack.
his
Jesus.
name is still on my phone as Wet Sack. So
Of course it is.
because his last name was Wetley, and that's why his name was Wet Sack. I don't know. That's what he got called in high school.
Was he a teabagger? Like, did he dip his tea bag into... No? All right.
So
You lost on that one. You should have been...
I'm glad it wasn't a Wet Sack.
Moving on. All right. So this is a group of cards that come into play, and they kill, sack, destroy.
There you
sack,
go.
kill, destroy.
Sack,
sorry.
kill, destroy.
Destroy your sack by killing.
So we have a little bit more of like controlling not only just killing their creatures, but also like artifacts, enchantments, and all that fun jazz.
Yeah. So Reclamation Sage is a great card.
So that's
I love that one.
the sacrifice or kill artifact or enchantment.
Yep.
And then we have the new one.
Plague Crafter. We talked about
that
this one. Yeah. It sacrifice a creature, planeswalker, or they discard a card if they can't do that. Like, that's solid.
Yeah. And then you got your acidic slime, the Chupacabra. Actually, the Chupacabra
Ravenous.
is pretty cool because it's
From
doesn't have
Rivals.
a specific. You just destroy target creature. You know where you have Shriekmaw is
non-black, non-artifact
right.
creature. Yeah, a lot of that.
But one other thing that I do like in there that was actually a late add, which I think is going to be pretty good, is the Orc Sure Shot.
Yeah, what does that do? I don't remember bad cards.
That one is when it comes in, or when another creature you control comes into play, you get to give another creature -1/-1 till end of turn. So it doesn't have to be cast.
Man, I don't even remember this card at all. Like, where is this from? Do you remember?
I believe it's from with the God stuff. It has that like little hook symbol thing that I'm doing with my fingers here, because you guys.
That'd be Fate Reforged.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
Yeah,
Why
you got that little hook thing.
We should play charades.
That's awesome. I just hooked my fingers. I can't believe you got that. So you're very good at flavor text and knowing what the card does, and then you're also very good at if I do things, hand symbols of what the set is. You can get that. So what is this? Guilds of Ravnica?
That's like a circle. What are you doing? This one right here?
Yeah, Guilds of Ravnica.
You should probably try and like make a tiara around your head, because that looks like a crown in my mind.
But it's like a little point. I'm trying to copy it.
Yeah, but I don't get that.
You would think I was doing the bridge.
That London Bridge
Stronghold.
is falling down. I don't know. This is hard.
All right, but yeah, so that
all right.
So that's kind of playing into the next section where I'm talking about making the tokens, but it doesn't have to be cast. It's whenever a creature I control comes into play, give target creature -1/-1 till end of turn. So that's another way to get around anybody's indestructible
I'll
and
check
all
that
that
card
stuff.
out. That seems interesting.
Yeah.
Especially so, like, what you're looking to do is have a bunch of creatures come into play, and then you're able to
Kill off other people's
kill
creatures.
some creatures. Yeah.
So that's kind of the point of the sack, kill, destroy. Is I'm trying to whittle down everybody's board so that when Vraska does ultimate out, I just need one creature to get through on each person and they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm trying to whittle their board down while at the same point keeping my board pretty much the same. So then we get into what I just talked about, the token generators.
Token generators. I said that. I'm introing this. You can't. All right. So what are you doing with Awakening Zone?
You know what they... How does this... You're doing the infomercial thing. How does this work? Where does this go? Do you ever have trouble pouring milk?
Do you know how successful that is? Like, they make a lot of money. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. So I feel like we should be able to replicate that success. But,
Just be completely fake. Just
yeah.
And what does this card do in this deck?
How can I get the best haircut ever with this Flowbee?
Okay.
Look it up, kids.
So,
Flowbee.
Awakening Zone. What was the other one? I don't write it on here because it's very similar to that.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot. I know I rewind it by
Yeah,
about 2
rewind a
minutes.
little bit. It's the other one that came
Spawning
in.
Grounds? No. That's actually not the right one. I did say that, but that is inaccurate.
Oh, God.
It was in my updated Estrid deck.
It's been
So
one of my specs before, too.
It's a 3 colorless green Eldrazi enchantment. During your upkeep, put a 1/1 Scion into play, and then you can tap a colorless and a green, sacrifice the enchantment, and go search for an Eldrazi, put it in your hand. We're not going to get it.
Primal Vigor?
Nope.
No.
That's the other enchantment that we will talk about.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. I'm just trying to remember. God, what is it called?
Nobody cares.
All right. So
They'll look it up. They'll be able to find it in the tapped out section.
Yeah, it'll be in there.
Plug.
So if you want to know. But then, like, Grave Titan isn't one that generates every turn, but it's a 6/6 death touch. You're going to get 2 creatures right off the bat.
Well, when it comes into play, when you attack, it's hard to trade with it successfully. Like, Grave Titan is really good.
Then you throw out 2 planeswalkers, so you have Gearhulk and Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. Both of them, the voice makes plant tokens. You have Avenger of Zendikar.
Oh, yeah, that's the 3-mana one. Okay.
So, but also with Gearhulk can give all your creatures 3/3 and trample. So if you can't get your Vraska to go crazy, if you're flooding the board with creatures, you may just be able to win with Gearhulk.
Yeah.
Same thing with Nissa. It gives them, I believe, all 1/1 counters.
Correct.
And it's something else too, isn't it? Like trample and all that fun stuff.
No, it's just the minus is give all your creatures 1/1 counters.
That's right. Yep. The ultimate.
I don't remember the ultimate.
Well, now I gotta look.
Nobody cares. They'll find it on tapped out.
But then you have Avenger of Zendikar,
Which is, again, a really good card.
which actually fits with.
Token makers.
Well, it fits with Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, because she's making plants as well.
Oh, that is true.
The last one. Oh, okay.
Gain
This
X life,
is
draw
gain
cards,
X
where
life.
X is the number of lands you control.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't really, that part doesn't fit necessarily, so it's more of the -2, like Larry was saying.
I'd say you should cut it.
Hey, that's taking the place of Panharmonicon. Just kidding.
Why not?
And then you have Tendershoot Dryad, and then Nath of the Guilt Leaf, which is kind of interesting because I can make people discard and get 1/1 counter or 1/1 creatures.
Yeah, Nath. I'm surprised by that, but that would definitely work in there.
Yeah. So, but the point of that is you're making tokens, but then you double your counters, which you get into your double counter stuff.
Yeah, enchantments that the one that Adam was just foreshadowing. Not even sure if this is actual foreshadowing.
No,
He
it's-
said Primal Vigor.
It's segueing.
I'm pretty sure it's just brain
segueing into the
farting.
next. No, segue into the next segment.
So, doubling season doubles all the counters
not
and
segment.
tokens that are being put into play. Parallel Lives that doubles all the creature tokens that are coming into play, and Primal Vigor that doubles
1/1
all
counters
1/1
and-
counters and creature tokens that come into play for everybody.
So I originally had Pure Imaginative. Is it Imaginary Friend or whatever that one is? Imaginative.
Pure Imaginative Boy?
I don't.
Yeah, child.
We have to look this one up too. I really want it to be Pure Imaginative Boy.
Son? Rascal. I was close.
You little rascal! Get back here, little rascal! I can see why you thought it. Oh, but I wish it was boy. It is a boy in the front.
He is a boy.
But so I originally,
As far as
he
I
was
know,
one
it
of my
might not
last
be.
cuts.
Purr is kind of a neutral gender name.
Purr.
It's kind of like
Peer.
Pat, and
I'm Pat.
Terry.
Anyways, so I had this in here. It works really well with the planeswalkers, but with this making tokens, it wasn't going to work as well because you're not doubling the tokens. It's only a permanent that has counters come on it. So it'll work perfect with anything that was getting 1/1 counters or planeswalkers getting counters. The cool thing about this is when a planeswalker comes in, it comes in with a bonus one because of it. And then if you do the plus ability, it also comes in with another bonus one. So you get 2.
Adam's really excited about a card that he did not put in his deck.
It's like-
this is something that you could definitely put in your deck, though. and-
It's a borderline, like, this was one of, like, the very last card that I cut. So that's how close it is.
It would work with Nissa, with
Yeah.
Avengers Zendikar, with Vraska, with Gearhulk
Gearhulk,
by doing
yeah.
the Planeswalker thing. Like, it works with a bunch of cards in there.
And I mean,
So-
your commander, your general is a planeswalker, so it should work with that. But
if you're cheating, yeah.
But the other part of it is actually no, I don't think that would work. I was going to think Marin, but Marin you're not a permanent.
No, that's
you
an
get
experience
an
tokens,
experience
yeah.
counter, so that would not work with Marin. Oh, that was a foreshadow. Whoops.
Oh.
That's the next segment, though. Or next.
I thought you were going to do sack benefits.
Yep, that's where I'm about
is
to
that in
reveal
there?
the
It
second.
is. All right.
The actual.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
So, anyways, I'll just tell that right now. Marin of Clan Neltoth, that could be your alter ego of this one.
Okay, yeah.
You could
so
put
if
this,
somebody's like, you can't use a planeswalker, you'd be like, I'm not.
Put this one in, because it should work pretty well with that, because you still keep in Vraska, because then you can use her sack ability, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But in this, you're sacking so much stuff, there's other sack outlets that you'll be able to bring them back, and you're using a lot of enter the battlefield stuff. And that's tits.
And I think Marin is a proven very strong commander. Commander. I think it could really be an easy alternate there.
So this next section was sack benefit. So Marin's in that because it's a sack benefit.
Yep.
Go ahead and read the others if you want.
Pawn of Ulamog? Which one is that one?
Pawn of Ulamog is whenever a non-token is killed of yours, you get an 0/1. Eldrazi
yeah, that vampire. Okay. Then Smothering Abomination.
This is finally, I was saying it to Larry before, I put this card in so many decks, like as I'm making the deck, and then I end up cutting it, like with sacking and stuff, but this fits perfectly with Vraska, because it's a flyer. You have to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of your upkeep.
But you draw a card off of that.
Anytime you sacrifice a creature, you draw a card. So it's giving you...
That seems right.
Yeah. So you sacrifice... With Vraska, you sacrifice a creature. You're drawing one with Vraska, but you're also drawing it with that. So you're drawing 2 cards instead of 1.
And then the next one, you have Butcher of Malakir.
And that's just to kind of control the board by... It's my only...
version of that.
Yeah.
So, like, there's Grave Pact, there's... Dictate of Erebos. You didn't put those in there.
They were originally in the list, but I cut those. I wanted everything to be creature heavy, creature themed, because that's the theme of the deck. So I just had one answer to if I couldn't get.
But you could definitely do that if you so chose.
Yeah, and I don't have in here, so I'm going to say it here at this point. I do have some tutors in here, but they fit with the flavor of the deck, and we've kind of talked about that. We both have cut back on, like, normally how I would have built this.
Enlightened Tutor, Vampiric Tutor.
I would have had Worldly Tutor, Vampiric, Demonic, all that would be in here to find exactly what I want, but I cut that out. I make it so it fit with the flavor. So what cards fit with the flavor? Well, Razaketh, because you're sacrificing creatures to go search for any card, and then also Sidisi are my 2... Then Sidisi, when it comes in, you're
Undead
sacrificing a creature to go find any card. So those are the only 2 tutors.
And those are roughly on theme with what Vraska's doing, is sacrificing and drawing and stuff like that. So,
and then even if it goes to Marin's the same thing. You're sacrificing, it's giving you an experience counter, blah, 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 blah. So that's my little side note to that.
Is there any Blood Artist and Evolutionary Leap?
So I have the other dude too, the Zulaport
Cutthroat.
I have him in there and Blood Artist, the only 2. And then Evolutionary Leap is the one where it's an enchantment, tap 1 green, sacrifice a creature, reveal top of your library until you get a creature card.
Put it into your hand.
And then the others on the bottom of your library. There's my Razaketh and Sidisi.
Yeah.
So they were in there. So that's the right part to talk about it.
Adam's lying again. Doesn't know what cards he wants.
And then...
I only have 2 spells, non-creature spells in my... I ended up with 6. So
I was like, yeah, dude, there's only 2. I can only think of 2, and I've already talked about 4, so... It's 2 more. It's 6.
Pre-releases. All right. So, and then the next section, you have your game winners, and you're talking about 4 of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Craterhoof, which we've talked about a bunch here.
Every green deck.
Beastmaster Ascension, which works with your token theme here as well, because that's whatever. Torment of Hellfire.
Oh, I want to get this going.
It's powerful.
I want to get this going.
I was trying to think, like, were we talking about it where, like, if you're out of cards in hand and creatures or permanents in play, like 3 is a lot of life, and that adds up pretty dang quick. Yeah, you
were saying how, like, it seems almost broken in a way. How that's a lot of freaking.
It's really good. And so if you have enough Eldrazi Scions, and you're like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
I also have Cryptolith Right in here, so
fun. Yeah, we'll see how that is, but that's a game ender. That is.
And honestly, I haven't seen it played. Have you been in a game that's played?
I got trashed by it for like 12 damage at the end of a game. Like,
actually,
I had no permanents, no hand, and then I die. I was just like, wow, that's
I
like
should say
depressing.
I haven't seen it played in a Commander game. I did get it used against me when the little time I played Arena for a while there. The only reason I'm not playing Arena now is it feels pointless to me to collect all of this and make a deck, and then it's all going to be wiped before the game comes out. Now they're in the...
I think they'll still give you the credit, but like you have to redo all the work and stuff like that.
Yeah, whatever money you put into it.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying is like I'd rather just start when the actual game comes out, so I know that my cards are going to be there.
Right on.
Anyways, that's a side note. Then
random good
nope,
stuff.
Forgot one card on there.
What? Oh, Siege Behemoth. Yeah. As a game ender, that seems like a really cool idea.
So Siege Behemoth, he comes in, he has hexproof, and then when he attacks, all your creatures deal their damage. Even if they're blocked, they deal their combat damage to the player like they weren't blocked.
Yep. And that's the Thorn Elemental effect.
Right. So then you have this out, and you have your Vraska's ability. Even if they block, they're dead.
Yeah, there's no way. You'd have to kill every creature before you're blocking.
Yeah. So that's my winning the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm not going to move on. I already said it. Random good stuff. There we go.
So
I like Path of Discovery.
Yeah, so that's going to be really fun.
And that basically, any creature that comes into play explores, which is the Ixalan.
Which it's cool because it's not cast. It's any creature that comes in. So your tokens that you're generating that are coming in from Awakening Zone and all that stuff. When that comes in, you get to explore. Look at the top card. If it's a land, it goes into your hand. If it's not, your 0-1 or a 1-1 turns into a 1-2 or a 2-2.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, if you Avengers of Zendikar with this into play, and you're putting this plus 7 other tokens, you're exploring 7 times, which seems really powerful.
Yeah, I picked up a couple foils of these because I think it's an actual really good card.
Yeah, and I was talking with Adam about this earlier. If I had a Sidisi Brood Tyrant deck, like every time you're milling a creature, like off of Explore, you're going to be able to make a new 2/2, and you're able to do that,
again.
As long as you want.
That is
with
pretty
that
insane.
Play. So
you didn't have that when you had your Sidisi before?
No. Sidisi's been killed for like 3 years at this point.
Okay, so it wasn't even out at that point. That would be a really fucking good ad, though.
It'd be really cool.
Then you got what?
Archfiend of Depravity,
and that one's just the kind of controlling the board, getting people's creatures down. So at the end of each person's end step, they sacrifice down to 2 creatures.
A card that we've both used quite a bit at this point, Heroic Intervention.
Yep, protection. It's my only really protection for the whole deck.
Lurking Predators.
This one's a card that Lowry has used, and I really like it.
Asmati deck, and he stole the idea from me.
Well, this is so creature heavy, and that's based off of creatures pretty much. You have to reveal a creature card, and then it goes into
So would
play.
you say you only have about 2 non-creatures?
Shut up. I knew that was coming next. And then
Genesis Waves.
I've always loved that card for when you have a lot of mana.
I've always loved you.
I don't know why I whispered with you. I didn't know what you were about to say, and I whispered with you.
You knew exactly what I was going to say.
One card that we put in our...
it's a core card.
Core card for Commander. Lifecasters. I know, I'm making fun of you. Shut up.
Do you want to say bestiality for the next one? Is that what you want to say? Jesus. Oracle of Moldiah is always a great card.
Core card.
Yeah. Dark Imposter?
That's the
question mark?
Exile guy. He's on the board. That actually might be my flip for Panharmonicon. Now we're going through the list. But it's a good way to exile stuff. So it's 3-drop vampire. Tap 2 black, 4 colorless, exile target creature. The vampire gets a 1/1 counter, and he gains all activated abilities from that creature you exiled.
Interesting. Why do you like this one?
It was a way to get rid of stuff, but that's why I'm like, it's kind of on the cutting board because I have enough sacrifice and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to get rid of their board, but I like it when it is. So that it might be a better idea to have Panharmonicon. So this is probably the card. If you guys look on Tapped Out and it's not here, this is what took the place. Because it's one more for Panharmonicon, and then it's doubling all my other stuff, where he's only going to be a 6. So on air discussion, that's probably what's going to end up happening there.
And then Cryptolith Right,
which you're already having a crap ton of creatures. And
might as well use that for mana to get out Craterhoof Behemoth, you jerk. But even though I'm all right with that, if you tap down a bunch of creatures to get this seems like it's going to be a powerful ish deck.
It should be interesting. The hard part was the sacrifice because I wasn't doing.
You're mainly looking to be like sacrificing one of your creatures to draw a card and gain a life, and that's how you just kind of keep the engine going a little bit. Is that what you're going for?
I mean, I don't have a lot besides that. Lifecrafter's bestiality is my only other
bestiary.
My only other draw. Although I do have
don't come after us.
Solemn Simulacrum in there as well. But I mean,
Did you end up cutting Creekwood Liege, or
no?
Is that just not in,
it's not in there.
Okay.
But yeah, I have Creekwood Liege. I have basically every single 1/1 counter one except for the
like during your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter of X into your
what's his name? The fungus one that's freaking 7. That was just in Modern Master or Masters 25. Was he? No, he's in Dominaria.
Verdant Embrace.
Yeah, I didn't put him in because that's so fucking.
So it's not everyone.
No, that's what I said. Not everyone, but
so
that
much.
one.
I don't know how we can discuss these kind of things. Don't throw your beer in my face.
I'm like, I don't know what to do now. I'm just being a dick. All right, so that should do it. I'm very interested to test this deck along with the other one. So when you get back from Germany, I want to test out, and we'll have a lot to talk about. Actually, it'll probably be a full half episode.
Well, and like the other thing is I'll probably update my Niv Mizzet deck after we open the deck. Like there are cards now, like when I'm looking through Rivals of Ixalan, or Guilds of Guilds of Ravnica. Jesus. All right.
Take 2.
After looking through Guilds of Ravnica, it feels like there are a bunch of cards that could really go into my Niv Mizzet Perun deck. And so like I really do like the jumpstart cards. I think at this point I do want to add in Locket. But
don't you mean your Locust God deck?
No. But yeah, I
foreshadowing to next week's episode.
But the jumpstart for 2 cards, yeah. So I will probably be updating it, but once I get back and have some time. So you'll get what I got. You'll like it.
Nice. Should we get into
like
our
magical news?
All right, we are already getting long. All right, so magical news.
I wish you said that.
I've never heard that statement
I've never heard it ever in my life.
Real quick, so the guild kit decks were released. And that would be along the lines of what guilds were coming out in Guilds of Ravnica here. So I think they're $20 a piece. I'm not 100%
sure $20
a
piece.
What are your feelings on it in an overall general sense? Not picking on any of the cards really.
So we have a little differing opinion on this. They feel like to me like the Planeswalker decks. I know they're not. They just feel like that. The price wise. What you get out of them. I think the things I like the most out of it is the lands, but I'm never going to play with those because I'd rather play with full art and I'd rather play with unstable lands. So although they're cool looking with the guilds on each of the text box, I won't play with them.
And I think we both agree, like, the only one that's probably worth buying if you're looking for value is the Selesnya one, because it has Privileged Position in it.
Which is an amazing card to have, which that'll probably be in a CCC for our hybrid stuff when we get to that point at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Because that just, it protects everything of yours. But that by itself is $26 at the moment. It will probably drop a little bit once these are out.
I think, and I think a lot of these. I think these are great cards if you're relatively new to the game, because it has a lot of rares in it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, but like 2-3 legends per set, and the green black one, Deathrite Shaman, Abrupt Decay. These are great cards. I think they did a pretty good job with their reprints in this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you should kind of go through and look at it and see what cards you actually want to pick up.
Yeah.
Because they will go down. I'd wait a couple weeks until they're released, which is...
But for people that have these cards, it's probably not worth.
Yeah,
I mean, because are you going to go pick this up? I'm definitely not.
No, but I have a lot of cards, and I have all of these cards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There isn't a single card in here that I don't have.
But like,
besides they do have some of the new stuff in there too.
Yeah, they do. So like, if Atrata is in the black blue one, I think it'll be. I think it's a good product. And I would differ on, like, with Planeswalker decks, they have Planeswalker shit the rest of the list. Here, I would, put them in my penny sleeves and put them in in my boxes that I would at least look through. For the Planeswalker decks, I would just
Take
set
the Planeswalker
aside
out
and
and-
then burn the rest of the cards. Like, they're just not good. These are at least solid buys. Like, I think they'd be good gifts for kids or somebody that's new to Magic. I think these are probably pretty well playable against each other as well. That would be my bet. And so if you have, again, I would probably rather buy this than that shitty Friday Night Magic player thing that they have like 5 decks that are one color of each.
Oh yeah.
This would be a much better product for a newer player or somebody that doesn't really know Magic well.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. More expensive, but it's not less. It's a lot less shitty in my opinion than a lot of their pre-made products.
And these aren't going to be. Are they standard legal?
Oh, what, the cards that are being
I don't
reprinted?
think. No, they
no,
aren't.
No,
Yeah, because they're
not,
reprinting
no.
stuff that aren't part of. So you're playing modern pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you have Aurelia the War Leader, Tristani, Silenzia's Voice, and alternate art. I think those are great commander cards in my opinion. So
yeah. All right. Other magical news. I'll have to kind of make it kind of quick here, but why don't you fill us in with some of the stuff that happened? Actually, kind of happened when we were doing
last
our
Monday.
Yeah.
So it was after we had
done our
last
podcast.
recording.
But
so a lot of people have probably already talked about this. So we'll kind of skim over it decently quick. Right now, Wizards came to an agreement with Amazon, Target, and Walmart to kind of allow them to mass sell things, which they normally do, but it's going directly to them and skipping the
middleman
distributors essentially that everybody normally has to deal with. And so they're getting such a large allotment that they kind of are able to control prices. This stuff isn't going to take effect until the next core set, I believe I read. So it's not instantly. It gives a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And so right now, like, you probably, if anybody's selling a box for over 90, go look at Amazon essentially. That's the price if it's right around there. And so we can do a little bit of command debaters, but we'll want to shorten it sweet. Like, in my mind, I still want to go and try and support local gaming stores, as long as they're not charging dramatically more.
Yeah, and we kind of discussed it a little bit before the episode. We really don't go to play at the local game store, LGSs at all, because we haven't. We only do the pre-release stuff.
Yeah, so like an example, like tonight was the first time we've been to a game store since Battle Bond came out.
Yeah.
And it's 4-ish months ago. And so, like, we both have kids. It's super tough to get out and be able to, like, go to a gaming store. I go to gaming stores a lot more than you.
Yeah. Back in the day
you're-
before the internet, that's how I bought my cards, was
Yeah.
we go to the source in the city in Twin
Back in
Cities.
my day.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
The way that the pricing was is you looked at the Scry magazine that they put out every month, and that was the way that you saw what the prices were on cards. That's what we would go off of.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my...
Guy's Cradle. Yeah,
You said it, I
get
didn't.
it. I get it.
Anyways, but I've always bought, like, it's you save so much more money, and I know this is kind of frowned upon, I guess, with local game stores. You got to support them and all that stuff, but I buy 99% of my stuff from internet.
Online.
Yeah.
I would say I'm probably more like 50-50. Like, I go to a gaming store and I'll buy most of my
Would you say
singles.
50-50 now? Because
Yes.
you
I would
still
say 50-50
are able
now.
to do 50-50?
I don't really buy online.
I guess
a whole
you
ton
don't
either.
buy as much.
I
You trade.
go like I trade. I get most of my cards trading, but if I'm getting new cards like purchasing, I'd say I'm 50-50 at this point.
Because we buy our whole box online.
Mm-hmm. I'm not counting that either. So yeah, probably a little bit more on the internet side.
Just because it and the thing is I also live. I'm not too far. I'm in the sticks, but not really the sticks. We're
You're a half-hour drive from a store.
from a decent store. They're a half hour, and so it's just easier for me with 2 kids and everything to be able to buy everything, and it's cheaper for me. Like, not only you're gonna find the card cheaper. The card you just bought tonight, like I was telling you, you could have bought it on eBay for $1 cheaper, but you got it in your hand tonight. So,
and I wouldn't have bought it online. I just kind of saw it. I wanted to throw a little bit of money towards the Phoenix games where we went, and I was like, yeah, that's. I've been wanting it, but I just again, like it's not on my super radar. So that's kind of a little bit how I work too, though. Like I like going to a gaming store and just kind of like, oh, you got that? What's the price? That's relatively close. And it's more of like I don't really buy cards building decks.
And see, that's how mine is normally how I build.
Yeah.
Like when I build,
and I think that's
is when
how a
I
lot
get
of
the
people-
cards.
And for me, I go to a gaming store to get inspiration. Go, oh, this would go here, here, and here, but I don't have it, so I'll buy this. And then I think I've said this before. I haven't bought a single card specifically for any deck that we've built on Commander Smiths here.
So yeah, that's how I buy my cards.
Yeah,
It's like I love it.
You're building it and then you're buying your cards, but I go through and I use all the cards that I've had because I'm like, oh, I like this here, here, and here, and so that's just kind of how I work. And so like Amazon and Target and Walmart kind of getting this stuff. I think it's good for the consumer to a certain degree. Like it's just going to be cheaper because the gaming stores have to compete against these guys now. And then I think the negative part is like if they're not making enough money, gaming stores can really hurt off of this. So I hope Wizards is careful about this and they're able to somehow. I want them to be able to balance it somehow. And so I because at Phoenix Games we were talking with the owner there, and he was just kind of like, he wasn't specifically talking about this thing, but it's just like if people aren't going to the stores, less people are buying Magic, and then Wizards doesn't make as much money. I think there's some truth in that if everybody's going to the internet. Now, some truth. We only play in pre-releases. There are certain people that live in the cities that basically meet at the card store.
Yeah.
And then there's people like us where we play most of our Magic at home.
Right.
And so
that's how we've always been.
You kind of got to balance it a little bit. Like if you're going to a card store, you're going to want to support that card store.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that's where you like to play. But we don't necessarily have like our card store, quote unquote.
Right.
So like it's not as near and dear to our heart.
Right.
So I think that's where you kind of got to balance a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to add to that really. I mean, that's just it all depends on how you do things because the only thing we only do pre-release and the only thing we haven't done that's pre-release is Battle Bond, and that was kind of like a pre-release in a way.
Yeah, it was the day it came out and stuff like that.
Right.
And they
so
didn't have pre-releases.
Like I don't know. It's just. You don't get to drink a beer while you're at the card store and play games and play music.
Cheers? We can cheers. I'm already done though.
Yeah,
boom.
Because I was talking the whole time on my
Chatty Cathy.
On my Commander Spotlight.
So that's kind of where we stand. I totally understand where people like card store owners are like, man, this is the competition level just rose on them like hardcore right there.
Yeah.
But like I always find like Amazon probably has the better prices, but like whenever I look at like full sale products at Target or Walmart, it's like $5-10 more than even at a gaming store. So it's like I almost never buy from Target or Walmart.
No, I think
unless they're like repacks that they really fucked up on, and then you're able to go weigh what one has a Commander product and stuff like that.
The pre-cons of the Commander stuff seem to be right on par with everything there, but everything else like the fat packs and whatever fat packs are $10 more than you can get online.
And they have repacks that always feel like I get like the worst packs possible. Like, oh, you got Guild Pack.
It's like it's like a repack that you get from somebody online that like picked out the rare and the mythic.
Yeah, they're somehow able to like and you're paying full price. Yeah, I feel like I always get fucked there, so I just don't go.
But I mean,
I go to Target.
The hard part,
I don't go to Walmart.
No,
because I feel dirty going in there.
Our Walmart in Elk River for a Walmart feels very clean. Feels very clean, but every other one that I go into is like, oh man.
Like we're a little bit of snobs, but understand that Target
is from
Minnesota. Are in Minnesota, so like we're biased in that regard as well. You can love your Walmart all you want, but feel bad for it.
But the other one last thing with it is it's hard you save so much more money, with the eBay discounts and all that
TCG
stuff. And, I mean, we just bought these boxes for under $80 plus. I think I got $1 in eBay bucks back. So
well, and like in most gaming stores are going to be for like $90, and so like we save $10 a piece. We don't get the buy a box promo, but big whoop.
Yeah. You want a 16/16, don't you?
Indestructible? Heck yeah. Convoke? Oh
No
my
trample.
God.
I think it should have trample the way how big that thing is.
Just put Rancor on it.
Yeah, that works. All right, so we should move into our last segment, and this is going to be a very long episode, but that's okay because we had a lot to talk about. So
They like the sound of our voices, so don't worry about it.
one thing I will say, what we were just discussing kind of leads into this for me. This is kind of the first time going into rotation that I've actually looked at cards to be like, okay, these are cards that I want to pick up that are rotating. I don't normally do that. I just, like you said, I normally buy
you need it.
Right, when I need it for a deck, that's when I buy the card, or if it's something that lands are things that are my babies. I always like to get the special lands and have the set of those and all that. But other than that, if they fit in a deck or I'm building a deck, that's when I buy the cards. This is actually the very first time, and I've already started to buy some of these cards that we put on this list here, these lists that we're going to have over the next couple of weeks here.
4 weeks, yeah. So we're going to start off with Kaladesh,
which is, I think, is probably the strongest one.
Yeah, I mean
the best potential cards out of these, I think.
Yeah.
With a question mark
Maybe.
again.
I like Aether Revolt too.
Well, I just like the Kaladesh stuff. There was a lot of stuff I really liked with this, but why don't we start with?
So this is Kaladesh rotating top 15. So this is a list. So you guys like lists, right?
Top 15.
Everybody likes lists
with the bulk buys at the bottom. All right, so why don't you start us off, Lyle?
So number 1 is Chandra, Torch of Defiance. This card kind of dominated Standard. I've seen it work its way into Modern and a little bit of Legacy on like big red decks. This card was reprinted in like the Standard decks that they kind of... a lot of these were kind of like the good cards were reprinted. But this is a great card, and I think this is close to Modern playable. Right now it's sitting around like $12-ish. And my thought would be is kind of like hold off until like I think it can get under 8 because of that reprint in the Standard deck boxes things that they did. And so
you think regular or foils on these?
Regular. I mean, the foils are expensive as shit.
Yeah.
So this card was up to it was like a $30 card in Standard. So remember that, like, there's something called price memory where like people remember going, oh, this was a $30
used to be
card.
that, yeah.
And so for some reason that shit kind of
it was approaching 40 at one point.
It was a really good card for quite a bit.
Yeah. So we're looking at getting in under $8.
Yeah, I don't have any, so I'm going to at least pick up 4. And again, most of these cards I would wait at least 6 weeks for. And then start looking at buying into it, and that's after rotation. So that would be the foils are over $40 right now. I'd probably wait until they're under 40. Planeswalker foils tend to keep.
Yep, stay up there
because they're people like them, and foils are much harder to get by because those weren't reprinted and stuff like that. So.
Number 2 is Nissa Vital Force, and that we're waiting. Right now, she's sitting at about $5. So the regular or non-foils, wait until it gets under 4. And then your foils, we're probably looking for what, under 7 you were saying here on?
Yeah, so
about 7.
I'd wait
we're about
under 7.
$9-10 right now.
The reason why I kind of put this here is because this card's been rising ever since Dominaria. I think it's kind of finding some play in Legacy, and so there is extra demand beyond Standard. And I found this card to be really good in Commander as well. So some of these cards aren't going to dip nearly as much as I think we expect them to. So that's a little bit. I'd say you could still maybe wait, but I'm being more careful with this card.
The next stuff all these I need to pick up. These are a key.
The fast lands.
Yep. So all of them, we're kind of waiting until...
so I'll just list them off.
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3, you have Fastlands, Sprebluff Canals, Blooming Marsh, Botanical Sanctum, Inspiring Vantage, and Concealed Courtyard. I would probably say wait until they're under about $4. Some are already under $4, some are more. But I think they're all going to take a nice dip. The foils all tend to be actually pretty expensive.
Yeah, they're really expensive.
So I'd probably skip on it unless you notice them going down.
Yeah, I picked up at least one copy for each just the regulars because the foils are way too expensive.
Yeah.
For what I want to get. Next one, well, we kind of get into our Gearhulk. So number 4 is Torrential Gearhulk. These used to be over 20, so that's what Lowry was just saying about used to be.
This was a super standard card. Now it's taken a huge dip right now. I think, but again, I think this is a really good card. So I picked one up for like $5 just to have one. But I think we can wait until
under $4.
Under $4, and then
probably under
I think you could even wait longer. But again, I think we talk about this in the next episode. But it depends on how you're looking at rotation as well. So Adam's looking to purchase, and so he's going to be willing to wait a lot longer for the drop and stuff. As a trader, I kind of need to work on stuff at a sooner date. And so I kind of did this list, and so keep that in mind where I'm going to start in about 6 weeks to start trying to trade for these cards a bit more aggressive, even though it's not at the low. And it's when people are willing to kind of let go of stuff as well.
So I personally went, and just for collection wise, and that's why I was saying this is kind of a first for me, is I went and bought, I pulled 2 Torrential Gearhulks in packs, so I already had those guys, but I didn't own any of the other Gearhulks.
Okay.
So I wanted all of them, so I ended up buying all of them in 3 of them in foil, and then 1 of them in regular because it was too expensive for foil at the moment. But we'll get into those. So it basically 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all the Gearhulks. We left off the white one.
I'm not a huge fan of the white one.
White one's the cheapest one. I got that foil for $2.
It's super. Yeah, you can go and get it if you want. That's probably, did I put it in the bulk buys? Maybe. Put it in the bulk buys. I might miss it. Who cares? Torrential Gearhulk is a solid card. I think this can be like a top end in Modern, in my opinion.
Yeah, so. I like the Noxious Gearhulk, and Combustible Gearhulk is very good too.
Yeah, Combustible is great for Commander. So
the green one I don't like as much.
Really? That's an 8/8 for trampling for 5 at worst.
Yeah, if you give it all to him, you're saying
that's still a really good card.
But all of these you're looking at personally you can get the regulars for they'll be under a buck, $2 here pretty soon.
Yeah,
I would say wait for the foils.
I think the Combustible is going to end up keeping because it's one of the better red cards out there.
Yeah. But the
green and the black one I can see dipping down, like being bulk-ish.
Try to get those in foil if you can, because not only is it's foil, but it's also in mythic. So I mean, if those go up, those will go up a lot faster than it's the typical thing that we say with the foils. Yep. But that's what I'm shooting for with those. Number 8,
one of our favorite cards, and many people like Panharmonicon at number 8, like you said. I think you can. It's sitting around like 4 or 5. I'm probably being hopeful on this one. I'm saying you can wait until it drops below 2. But
I picked up my bulk of these a long time ago.
I think
I picked mine up for my foils for $4 a piece.
Yeah, and those are sitting over 15 right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if the foil is going to drop, so that's a maybe. This one's already just like Commander favorite.
Yeah, it's so good.
I don't know how much it's actually going to drop.
It might be if you're going for foils, it might be you got to buy now pretty much.
So good luck with that.
Saheeli Rai. Number
9, Saheeli Rai. The Planeswalker. This was the one that went broken with Feldar Guardian.
Flicker.
So I can see this one working its way into Modern a bit. I think it's a really good in artifact decks and blinking decks. I think it's a solid card for Commander. And so right now I'd probably just wait. Again, it's a Planeswalker. I'd probably wait until it gets below 4, which is probably pretty soon. But if you want to hold out, I think you can. But I can see this being like recovering and getting up to like $6 to $8 pretty easy as well.
Yeah. The next one I actually really like is Aetherflux Reservoir.
Number 10.
This
is a list. You got to say the number.
Sorry.
Come on.
Number 10.
Yeah, we're
this one is another one, along with Panharmonicon, is about the same time. I bought both of these. I bought the foils. I think I got down around, what did I buy? I thought I bought those for about $7 or $8. Yeah, I did back here. So, yeah, these we're looking at getting in if under $8, but this is used a lot. This is a freaking good card in Commander. Get the regulars. If they get under $1, man, you could pick up a whole bunch of those at under $1. I bet you this is a $5 card within a couple of years. But just the non-foils.
Non-foils, yeah. I mean, you have a potential for the foil to go down a little bit lower, but I think this is going to end up being, this is a casual staple, and I think it's not going to move down nearly as much as you're going to be used to.
I think it's kind of following the same, not the exact same boat as Panharmonicon, but it's up there.
Yeah.
Why don't you get us to number? I like all of these cards.
They have a lot of good commander cards.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Freaking Kaladesh had a lot of good stuff in it.
Number 11, Inventor's Fair, which it's just a land that gains you life if you have an artifact, and then if you have Metalcraft, you can pay 4 and search for an artifact. I'm hoping you'll be able to get this card kind of under $1 or right around $1. But its foil is kind of crazy at this point.
Yeah, the foil is going to be tough.
So I don't know if I'd go for the foil, because, again, I don't think this being a casual, like this goes in every artifact commander deck that you're going to build. This might be good enough to make it into Modern just because as a 1 or 2 of.
Yeah.
It's because it's a legendary land as well. But it's a really good card. So if you can pick up this card for around $1, I think you'll be pretty lucky.
I mean, it has mana. It gives you mana. It gives you life if you have 3 artifacts. It also tutors a freaking artifact.
Gain the life if you have an
3
artifact.
Isn't it 3 or more?
No, I think it's just a artifact, and then it's 3 or more to search.
I have to look.
Adam didn't do his homework this week, so because he had to work.
If you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life.
Okay, I was wrong.
You can sacrifice to go search. The reason I've been already looking at picking these up, I already have a bunch of them, but I was looking at picking up more.
So you can do that.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it at any point. That's why I said this thing is
mixed up.
really freaking good because it's a tutor for any artifact. It's a mana, and then if you have 3 artifacts, you're gaining life off of it.
And this is another one that's gained in price since Dominaria, which is kind of uncommon. So that tells me that it is a casual staple commander card. I don't know. Like, I haven't really seen cards do this trend very much. And so it's kind of like a new thing that's going on. People are going, buy this, keep this, hold on to it because you're going to want to play with it. And people understand that. And they go, well, I'm not going to just release them into the wild. So I think the supply is going to be shorter. If it dips, it might be pretty quick as well.
So these I'm fine with getting regulars on because, like you said, I think foils are up in around upper teens, 20, I'm guessing here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're around mid-teens to 20. Yeah. I can see... Oops, I went back. I can see the regulars of this card by itself a couple of years down the road reaching $10.
Yeah, I can easily say 5, 6.
Your foils quite a bit higher, of course. So you're probably looking at $30, $40 with this.
Mm-hmm. And I think it does depend on how much it dips as well. Mm-hmm. Like if this dips a lot, then maybe there isn't that demand. But if it stays around $3 and doesn't dip much, basically know that this card's going to just go up.
Yeah. If this gets to 2, I am buying a shit ton of these. I think
it'd be a good one.
It's a very good card. All right. Number 12, Metallurgic Summonings or Summoning.
Yeah, Summoning.
These are a pretty good. I love this card actually, but I'd say go for these on the foil guys. But I mean,
I think. One thing that I like to do is get a foil and a regular, and then
play with the regular. Yeah, play with the regular.
Well, I use a foil, and then I have the regular as like a placeholder for when I put it back in the sleeves, or if I want to use it again. But this card goes in I like using it in my spell slinger decks, so because it creates creatures as you're playing spells. Mm-hmm. And then I think this is a great card. So I think you can easily go for the foils. I think you can probably start getting foils for under $2 here in the regular range that we were talking about.
And I think it'll start getting used a little bit more in Commander because that's the one where if you have 10 or more of one artifact type, you win the game.
No.
Or is that every time you cast an instant or sorcery, you make a construct? That's one. Okay. I get those two. You know which one? The other one I'm talking about?
Yeah, we talked about it next week.
Oh. Next week, this week, we've already talked.
We talked about it last week, but it's for next week, just for anybody that's paying attention.
Yeah, so those two are very similar in my head. For
You probably should have done a Back to the Future theme.
Yeah.
Because we're all
Gonna
time
go
is wonky
back
here.
in time. Dee 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 dee. Gonna go back in time. You know, you got it now?
Eh,
I hate you.
it sounds great.
The next card is my favorite.
I wasn't paying
One of my favorite commanders.
Number 13, Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter.
Woo!
I think I'm already seeing this card for under $1. I think this is...
I just picked up the foils for 7 because I think this card is pretty bonkers.
Yeah, and I was thinking that you could probably pick this up for under 5 if you wait
I just
a little
wanted
bit.
to get a foil. I picked up 2 copies because I had store credit at Abu Games. So I was like, well, I want this as a foil. I'm going to keep one in my binder and one for my actual commander that I have.
And so, and again, like, generally, you're not going to get a huge dip in legendary foils. So if you're starting to see a dip, take it. If not right away, you know, in the next like 2-3 weeks after,
You might want to pick it up.
you might just want to pick it up
Because it is
might
a
not
used commander. I mean, it's a pretty dang strong commander. Isn't that
dip.
right,
It's
Lowry?
good. Pretty dang. It's pretty dang.
Next one is Smuggler's Copter. Looking for regulars under
Number
a buck.
14 is Smuggler's Copter.
Thank you, Larry.
Mhm. People need to know where we're on the list.
Foils. Well, maybe I'll add in like a little sounder of somebody's voice. I don't know. No,
Number
that's too much work for
14.
me. Yeah, exactly. Like
A robot.
Yep. But the foil's under $5. Smuggler's Copter. I don't think I have. This is more of modern-ish, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not gonna be.
this was banned in standard. I like looting because it helps graveyard shenanigans in Commander. So I don't have a problem with this card. I don't know if I've been able to work it into any decks lately. I have it in one of my modern, like, casual decks that I have. So I really haven't taken the time to sit down and use it. But it's cheap. It's colorless. I think it hits a lot of things. And just being banned in standard, again, I think we talked about this on just the tips. It's just it should make you stand up a little bit and go, hey, this card's pretty powerful. So, and then moving on to number 15. Console of Allocations. This card's already under $1. I think you can pick it up for, get it for under 50 cents. Jank. You can get it for the foils. It is a legend.
It is spiking. It has
currently spiking.
Yep, it is at 12.
I
This
think
one
it'll
has
go back
been
down, but-
spec'd on multiple
Has it?
finance podcasts. I've heard this when it was back here. When it was around $3, people were specking on it. Then it jumped up to $7, and now it's on a $12 spike right now.
12. I think it's still going to probably.
I hope it comes back
work its
down
way
because
back.
I do want to get
If it's over
a foil.
12, like, I think it's hard. Again, it's a legend one, so it might not recover from that. But like, I was playing a game with Nick and Ken. They came over 2 weeks ago, and I played this on turn 3 in my Krav and Regna deck, and it was Swords to Plowshare right away.
Oh,
I was like, wow, that must be scary. It must be much better than I anticipated it to be, but it's still pretty good.
I might say pick this up if it gets under 8 again. Because
Going back to the pre-spike.
yeah, because this is a good card. I mean, there's that. Then the thing is, the hard part is when you start to get other podcasts that are speculating on it, not just one.
They kind of all like
they
snow,
start
like
they start
get enough
getting
people
their
into it.
listeners that start buying, and people talk
Well, it's
about.
a good thing people don't listen to us.
Yeah, when we talk about a card, it stays right there. No, I'm just kidding.
Tells you about the influence we have on the market.
The only time it spikes is when there's only like 5 copies left, and all those 5 listeners all pick it all up. Thank you, listeners.
Generally, it's just me going, I guess I should get this.
Lowry, we did our own spike. All right, so let's run through our bulk buys. Why don't you just read them off really quick?
Bulk
These are
buys.
ones that are going to be really cheap, and you should be able to buy quite a few copies, and they can fit in your deck.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, if you trade into your local store for, like, some credit with your boxes or whatever, and you're trying to get stuff, this is also stuff that I would hold on to.
Yeah. And then also, I will side note, if you can get these, a lot of these will be foils pretty damn cheap too.
Yeah, take a look
So
at them.
go for those instead of just regulars, because if they do end up, somebody makes a deck and it does spike, those will go way up. So
All right, Angel of Invention Animation Module, Gonti, Lord of Luxury, Aetherworks Marvel, Fumigate, Blossoming Defense, Aether Hub, Catharic Reunion, Cloud Blazer, Contraband Kingpin, Cultivator's Caravan, DePaula, Pilot Exemplar, Dramatic Reversal, Filigree Familiar, Glint Nest Crane, Harness Lightning, Harsh Scrutiny, Madcap Experiment, Marionette Master, Padim, Council of Innovation, Reckless Fireweaver, Saheeli's Artistry, Servant of the Conduit, and Unlicensed Disintegration. So just flying through that real quick, it's a list. If you bought any of the of Kaladesh, you probably have these cards laying around. I would just kind of hang on to them.
So, like, for example, I picked up, that's one of the things I picked up. I didn't have Aetherworks Marvel, so I bought a foil one of that for $1.50 or something like that.
Yeah,
$2.
They're all bulk. They're all cheap.
Yeah. So, but specifically, I would go for foils if you're going for any of those, because you're still going to get those pretty dang cheap. But then you have a potential of making money off of them if, for some reason, like with Aetherworks, why can't Aetherworks Aetherworks Marvel? But I mean, if they start bringing back that mechanic again of
it's a serious card to be a contender. Like,
right.
if it might not, you just might not have like enough mass energy stuff to make a deck. Like, they did a ton of it, but a ton of it's not very good.
But if they start making
If they
it in
do it
other
again,
sets,
yeah.
then that
as
might
long as they
become a
don't
good
fuck
card
it up
again.
like they did with Allies from Zendikar, like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna make Allies, but it's not gonna act like Allies.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be Allies.
they're just
so don't
gonna be
worry
named
about
Allies.
it. It's like, God damn it. So yeah, that's something that you want to look at a little bit too. But yeah, these are just it's bulk stuff that I would just like hang on to in my mind.
So we should cut this episode short. Not short, but we should just do our sign-offs pretty quick because we're an hour and a half into this. So find us on Twitter.
You can Gmail us
or YouTube us, and then I think that's about it for this week, right? Next week, what are we doing for? Well, we have next week's episode is your Commander Spotlight.
Yeah, I did Niv Mizzet, the Prune, and then prunes. Niv Mizzet's an old man. He needs his prunes.
It's just like Pierre the imaginative boy.
He's a boy. Maybe.
I'm a real boy. Anyways, and then in 2 weeks we are doing our CCC Red.
Yep.
So
which we're actually doing currently, like right after this.
Right after, so that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna say see you guys, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
We're gonna say see you guys, and then we're gonna say see you next week.
Oh boy.
All right. See ya.
Bye.